Hello, this is with Amnesia or Matthew, whatever you want to call me, and just been inactive for on the forums. So I just wanted to say what I've been up to more or less. And this recording is my RPG game. So the idea of this is just work on my own game. It's been years, I think, all on and off basically. But I've had a problem where I was figuring out with sprites. Monsters and stuff. I wanted to make the art good and also the combat system, so it wasn't like every other RPG Maker MV game. So I made a lot of headway recently. For example, this little heads-up display, it's all temporary, but I want to focus on the mechanics of it. So as you can see, it's just chaos right now because it's filled the starting area with all these monsters and stuff, and estimate so they work. Yeah, it's noisy, I guess, but basically this is what I'm up to. And also, the art I'm tinkering around with to make it have more appeal than just the standard art. There's so many people who make just the shittiest games, pardon my language, with the standard art set. It's just, like, I don't want any association with that. Especially, it's so hard to actually make a good game when you don't have a lot of people, so, I really have to find ways to find a very efficient method to see if it works. Just try and get as much. Some of those demons that rushed, like, I think it was 6 in the morning I got those demons in. It was, yeah, one day I just spent, like, I got over 100 monsters. Oh, you know, I guess they are monsters. And yeah, as I was saying, like, it's difficult making a game when you're just one person. There's so many stories where game companies are like 3 people who are friends and they live in the same spot and they all work together and they usually are, like, you know, upper middle class, around there, and so it's easier for them. So I think BioWare is like that. I think Blizzard was made in the frat, I think, stuff like that, or they've had a long time in the industry. Example. My point is, to make quality games, like high quality games, you need like a lot of effort to put into it, right? And you need to know what's good, what's bad. For example, there's no anime character except for that guy in the corner who's temporary. It's a different art style, basically. So I'm tinkering around with it. Actually, I'll show you what the previous art style was. See how this is all vibrant and colorful? I've been actually tinkering around with, I don't know, just making the art pop a bit more. There's some things, like for example, the I don't know, the, like, on the edges there, they're kind of you can see those by the water there. They're kind of like messed up, but whatever. It's original. It's original work. I was actually looking at the copyright law in Canada about what defines an original work. And according to the Supreme Court, Canada, it has to, you know, the work has to be not mechanically copyable. Like, you can't just, like, you know, it can't just be a mere copy. Here's original work. Our original, like, you know, see how bland the art is. They go back here, it teleports to the original area. See this? See the difference in the art? Oh shoot. It's just a, see how kind of almost washed away the art is. See that? How different it is. It's no vibrance or anything. Anyway, original work in Canada is if it, you know, if you can't copy it, and it required, like, use skill and judgment to make it. So a lot of stuff is, as long as you don't copy it, and also don't try to, like, push the bounds. For example, like, say you can make modifications or something and make it like a transformative work, lack of a better term, but you can't really claim copyright over it and, like, sue somebody. It's kind of like, just don't make a big fuss over it, pretty much. And yeah, so for commercial use, you can. There is a lot of the world's changing, right? So a lot have to change. With, for example, this is an earlier version. See, example, the see how the sprites walk backwards? Yeah, there's some earlier stuff. It's like there's multiple copies of the same map I was just doing some tweaking with, and yeah, it's kind of funny. The leaves are in the cave, but as you can see though, it works. Like the combat system, it works, and it's just figuring out the art. This is the original art. And it's kind of everyone uses this. It's kind of the most easiest option. So, but I've made a lot of other areas. Like a whole. I have a much bigger world of, like, scale down, scale down, scale down, scale down. But it's like a big kingdom here. Anyway, blah 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 art and stuff. So yeah, that's basically what I've been up to. So here's the other more pop to it. So yeah, there's all these monsters. and just developing tools and testing out stuff. So that's basically what I'm up to. The idea of this is to kind of just make my own game so I can eventually sell it, just so I can make a full cycle. So I'm more of a video game developer than just someone who works on mods, I guess, and like modules and that. That's great and all, but especially with the recent hostilities, I guess, on the forums with the Baldur's Gate, just the attitude, it just of the moderators, it just doesn't, like, the amount of work you have to put in to actually make something high quality, for example, and being one person, it's just, you have to really ask yourself, what do you want to do, with your life? So that's kind of why I've not, tinkered around. I have some stuff that in Baldur's Gate that the weapon forge is mostly, I just gotta add recipes and like link it up with some encounters. I could probably do that before Christmas time, I guess, but the whole castle thing with a 3D model, it just needs time and interest for myself. And this has kind of been my, I switched gears, round and round. So, for example, I'll show you some other maps while I'm blabbing away. Actually, I'll just let's see here. I'll just like edit the. You see all this other stuff I'm working on. I'll just move this guy over here. File. Save. It's kind of funny, this thing, it would break down and die, so I basically would copy the whole game if and try it as like as an experimental build, and then like a separate file, and I'll do one tweak when I was trying to do, it's tested, and then if it broke, it would be okay, delete, and if it worked, I'd be okay, this is build point 1 or point 2, I keep on iterating, right? It's just tweak it until I got the combat down to where I had a rough, like, I had a very rough working, because, it works, so it's kind of like Zelda, so you can slash the things, and, it works, and I had to change the art, so I got to a functional state. Now I gotta tweak it, and I'm trying to make it so that it has, like, all of the core gameplay mechanics, and the art. Like, most of the things you're gonna have is just the combat and where you're at, so you can see it's just roughed out, a lot of this. For example, if this is a city, it's just roughed out. But I'll change some of the art. Yeah, that's right. So some of the art's broken because I changed it. But generally speaking, though, it's like there's a big city here underground. Yeah, I changed some of the art assets around. But, whatever. It's supposed to be like doors and windows, not curtains and stuff. But I think it's actually an overwritten file. But as you can see, there's a lot of like stuff being worked on, and so this is like a shrunken down of an older map. We're working on. Whoa, what the hell is this about? So this is something's not right here. That was a wrong teleport. But as you can see, the whole map is kind of a bit messed up. But yeah, it's supposed to be like, if you zoom out here, like, oh, that's actually a way older map. Anyway, so yeah, this is like what I was going for. It's like a kind of just like forest. There's a mountain and stuff, but the art is there's big ice area, and then I actually, the maps weren't big enough, so I had to split it up from like upper and northern. See, this is like, there's like only one way to get down here, so it's like, here's like the upper version where you start off with, and then up here, right, there's like different towns and stuff, and it's based on this like bigger, it's on this planet, it's just a big city here, and eventually like it's just different, it's basically fleshed it out, and then kind of just like just kind of left it there just when I fleshed it out, worked on other stuff, and then I started working on Baldur's Gate more and some other tank games of that. So it's been, stuff like that. So just, I have this map I made, so basically now I'm back at it with this to do more work on it, and eventually, like, if I can make the art better than just the default, because that was one of the big things too. I was working with one of the default tools, and it was kind of just like, not discouraging, but I didn't want to use something that was it's almost like bland, I guess you could say. Like, see, here's all the different tests I was doing. See, let's zoom in here. Like, I was just like doing all these different art types, like seeing which ones were. See the, oh, oops. You see, for example, like the bridge. It's kind of esoteric, boring stuff that, like, a lot of fine details that don't really matter until it's all put together, and then I'm just trying to make it so a game from start to finish. Even if it's super simple and scaled back, I can do everything with this, and I'm trying to make the art like not boring and repetitive, and because so many like crappy 8-bit games that are made that's just like of this style. Like the combat sucks, and the games are stupidly put together, for lack of a better term, and nobody wants to play them, and that's why they don't sell on like Steam and stuff. And they're just like I'd rather not make something than it's a tragedy, if that makes any sense. So this is why it took a lot of time, and I'm really trying to figure out, trying to make the tile sets work. For example, this one, I like it enough where it pops. So it seems to be more, unique enough. Maybe I have to tinker around with some of the edges or something to make it better. But that's where my focus has been on the video game standpoint. But also, I've been working with some bears going into my kitchen on my house, and what was it, 2 weeks ago, I think. But I'm doing renovations on there's this trailer, and there's a bunch of additions, and there's like a roof over the old trailer, so I ripped apart like a big chunk of the trailer, then straight down to by hand with like a crowbar and a sawzall. Crowbar, or everyone knows crowbar. Sawzall is like a power drill saw. It's like a electric handheld saw. It's quite tiring to use over time though. But now I'm got the floor built and building the walls, and it's wintertime in Canada, so it's cold. But yeah, so I've been busy, but yeah, I've been kind of just thinking about the forums, and like I should probably do some type of update, because it's been like a month or something like that, and without any really clarity. So yeah, I want to do the project. It's just like it really comes down to like a lack of effort on my part to put but also like it's a different case if you're like a company. You can build things, you can hire people, etc., and everything kind of runs smoothly. But if you're just one person, you have to really balance your life out, especially if you're not even began yet. You have, so many people quit before they even start. So I'm just trying to get the basics done on this, like the fundamentals, like the combat, the progression, the right now I'm doing like the biomes, the tile set. And yeah, so I'm building the game from the ground up. Like, so many people do all these little features, and it's a game design flaw or building flaw, where they add these peripheral like stuff on the outside, like, oh, maybe he'll jump a weird way, or he'll have this like special map, or he'll the person will have this ability, and they don't start with just make the game fun for like 40 minutes. Just make the game like have a bit of gameplay and work from there. Work from the core outwards, because most of your games is gonna be with the player. Like Mario is a great example. Just make them jump well and fill the level up, and just make the core mechanics work. Everything else will come later. Just so that's what I'm trying to do here. It's kind of boring, but making the game the core mechanics work well, and making sure that testing all the map pieces, finding the bugs, and then getting to a point where I have like a template where I can just build and build and build and build and build and build and build, because the core is done, the engine works, the character has progression, like the armor, the character looks well, there's NPCs, the core gameplay is combat in my game, basically fighting, because it's the simplest and like more traditional path to do it. So it made the character sprites fight and work, like the old school Zelda games, and doing that, make it so it's interesting, So if you played like old school Zelda, you could, if you enjoyed that, like with the 1986 one, or like Link to the Past, you could find a lot of similarities of progression style. Like it's not copy and paste, it's just they're different games, but you should enjoy the similar, going in dungeons and killing monsters and exploring the world. My game doesn't really have much of a story to it. It's just like almost like Doom. It doesn't really, it's almost like an interactive atlas, to like, I made the world and then populated it, and then tried to make it actually like a functional game to actually go past the threshold of an idea and the Mr. Idea guy and nothing happens, but actually, hey, this actually is a game that people can know me about and have a good reputation. Not a shitty reputation, but a good one. You know, people sometimes actually care. For example, these details right here, that really bugs me, these little lines, because it shows problems. But bit by bit by bit, I like the pop to it, though. Yeah, it's almost like an oil painting. Looks cool. But, yeah, so I've been splitting my effort, but I just wish I had, like, I was more strong to be able to produce Baldur's Gate content. Like, I had more focus and more, like, healthy amounts of, like, hey, I can do this and that, because I'm not strained so much. I don't want to burn out either. It's like, if you just do one thing, you do burn out. There's, like, a natural ebb and flow to things. So yeah, that's kind of where I'm at. I'm sort of rambling on, but just showing that I'm kind of a bit proud, happy. No, I'm not proud. I'm happy that I'm progressing, and this is actually getting better. I feel like this is a valuable piece of work, and I created this, and that it can actually make people happy if I get this done. People can enjoy this. That's what makes me happy. I don't make things just to make myself happy. I want this to be able to make people happy, to have a game, for example, that they can play and enjoy. You don't have to worry about all the crazy small details of game design and all that type of crap, but actually just take a deep breath and just, you know, relax and just have memories be made, you know, like a proper game. Like when I grew up, like, you know, memories I didn't think, I was like, wow, these games are amazing how they're made and stuff, you know, and I wish I could make games. I would have a temple here, or do this and that, and I found a whole bunch of really good art assets, which I can use commercially, you know, very, very careful. I didn't like rip them off of Google Images or something. I actually went down and made sure that I could, you know, I wouldn't have problems. Because I did everything myself. I don't have a legal team. I had to, like, you know, figure out everything else. Yeah, so I just want to make a game. That's basically, I'm tired. I'm building the house. I'm building my life up. I'm getting these things. I just want to make a game that is simple to work on, but yet you know, it's not simple to of a feeling that it gives. It gives a complex feeling of progression. And I like Baldur's Gate because of that, but I don't like the politics and all the forums and the people who just don't understand difficulties, and just people I just don't relate with, how they live their life and how they act socially. I just don't have time, you know. I don't have, like, I like to be friends with people, not enemies. I just don't have time for drama and stuff, you know. So that's basically it. I don't know if you're listening to this, but this is me rambling on now into oblivion. But anyway, this is just a progress update video. So just typing a bunch of things. I just wanted to progress. This is what I'm doing right now, and have that thing where I think I can make some content where I can have the forge, probably for Baldur's Gate, that item forge, and like just ship that with some encounters probably, and add some of those jewels required for upgrading some of the items, and just have the all the unique items in Baldur's Gate, like the long sword +2 and plate mail +1 Florian's plate, that type of stuff. Have upgrades of that up to +3 and some exceptions, like the Moonblade, for example. And because I can mostly just do that. It's all simple content. There's no complex art or whatever, like David Castle and areas to make. It's just add more recipes. Yeah, I wanted to overextend and like try to risk, so I can like maybe like get half done the castle and like, oh, it's good, it's almost done, so I can like go and finish it off later with some more spirit later on when I rally myself again, which I've done, like, for example, this. I'm rallying myself again to do this. This is like half a decade old, I think, longer than that. Like, I think 2011 I made the original map, I think, so it's been like it's the same thing, just make a cool ass RPG, but now this is the easiest way to do it, with the amount of effort, and can have a high quality product. If I do my cart, if I have enough polish to this. Oh, that's where I'm at in my life. Anyway, yeah, it's work. I like it though. It's good because I feel like I'm actually making something valuable. Anyway, also a lot of music. I'm trying to get better at singing so I can do that. But I have to get some proper tools so the audio doesn't sound like crap, and I can learn better. But growing pains, you know. I'd rather fulfillment than comfort, you know. Anyway, this is Matthew with Amnesia signing out. Have a good one. Bye for now, and take care.